So let's rank all the films that I watched for the first time for the month of June 2023. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to you as the Big D. This time I'm going to give you another ranking. It's going to be my June 2023 first time watches ranking. I'm going to go quickly and what have you, but I'm going to show you the titles and then come back to myself and give you brief thoughts and what have you. I watched 26 films, so I hope you're ready for this. Let's get this show on the road. Sit back, relax, and here we go. Coming in at number 26 is The Stepmother from last year. This was a Tubi original. Yes, I took another risk with Tubi originals. This one was okay in my view. It wasn't great. It was kind of to make it give the Stepfather movies a little feminine feel with a female killer. Yeah, this was okay and what have you. You're gonna see the sequels as well. Anyway, it had its moments and what have you. But anyway, I'm just gonna say it was okay. Just not that great though. And next coming in at number 25 is The Stepmother 2, also from last year in 2022. Now, this was a little better, but still not good enough, though. I mean, we still got the same female lead in Erica Mena. Yeah, I will say, she's a pretty good villainess for us to play a stepmother in a suspense thriller and what have you. But I do appreciate them continuing after the events of the first film, though. The third film's still to come on this ranking. But Stepmother 2, well, I'm going to say it's a wee bit better than the first one, but you don't have to take my word for it. You be the judge. Now, coming in at number 24 is The Comebacks from 2007. Now, this is one of the spoofs of the 2000s I did not see because I didn't think it would be any good at all. Even though I saw those others that came out, like Date Movie and Epic Movie, which came out the same year. But those were different directors. This was directed by Tom Brady, and, well, this was kind of a mixed bag and what have you. It's with numerous sports films, from Radio to Remember the Tie-Ins to Friday Night Lights. David Koechner, he was pretty funny, though. Yeah, and then even had a little bit of Bended Like Beckham as well. The film's okay and what have you. As much as I hate to say it, I kind of would rather watch this over some of those that Seltzer and Friedlander directed. Yeah. But The Comebacks, it's an okay parody film. Now, coming in at number 23 is The Stepmother 3. Now, this one I thought was a little bit better than the first two, even though it did have some new characters, and one of them was really a little nutsoid and what have you. But anyway, I think this was a decent way for a finale and what have you. So, The Stepmother 3, I thought it was alright and what have you. But again, better than the first two, but you don't have to take my word for it. But that's just from my point of view. So enough said about The Stepmother. So let's keep this show going. Coming in at number 22 is Puppet Master 5 from 1994. This one, well, I thought was pretty good. This was also known as the final chapter, but however, there would be a few other Puppet Master films to come after this. So that means I've seen two more. We'll see where the fourth one winds up in a little bit. I'm gonna say it was reasonable and what have you. At least it was good to continue after the events of the fourth film. It was good to see all those puppets I remembered seeing from the first three films and what have you. So yeah. So that's about all I can tell you on that. Sorry, everyone. Now, coming in at number 21 is The Curse of La Llorona from 2019. Yes, this was the only film in the Conjuring universe I have yet to see until just recently. Thankful to be had, and I watched it. That means I have now seen every film in the Conjuring universe. But will I see The Nun 2? Well, very unlikely. I'll just wait until it comes to streaming or physical media. But nah, I'll just wait until it comes to streaming. Anyway, but back to Curse of La Llorona. I will say I do like its setting and what have you in the 70s. And, well, it was kind of pretty thrilling. Some of it kind of shocked me a little bit. It didn't scare me, though. It just shocked me, though. I will try and review that and The Nun later on, since I've reviewed most of the other Conjuring films. So The Curse of La Llorona, it's not bad completely, but probably not one of my favorites of the Conjuring universe, though. Now, coming in at number 20 is Puppet Master 4 from 1993. Now, after watching the first three films last year, I knew, and I've been forgetting to watch some more, but I finally took the time and watched the fourth and fifth ones back to back. I will say this is a good continuation after the third film, mind you, and I will say that this time we're seeing that, well, that the puppets kind of become more like, I don't know, different than being terrorized and what have you. But anyway, to take on these demons. I will say it's pretty good. It does have a few pretty good kills and what have you. One day I'll review these. I can't guarantee I'll review them this year, but don't you worry, Nana. I might review Puppet Master films sooner or later. Puppet Master 4, it was pretty good. Now, coming in at number 19 is Furry Vengeance from 2010. Now, I wasn't sure if I'd like this, but after it's been appearing on various streaming things and most recently Freevee, I decided, what the hey, go for it. This film's absolutely nutsoid and crazy and what have you, with these animals getting revenge on a bunch of developers that's trying to tear down their forest and what have you. I do think that Brendan Fraser was pretty funny and what have you, though. Brooke Shields is in this too. She's not too bad. But anyway, this film's so crazy. Maybe I'll review this sometime down the road. Furry Vengeance, it's fun in some ways. Now, coming in at number 18 is Brewster's Millions from 1985. And my friend the Diegler actually included this on his ranking of favorite films with John Candy. And well, since I found this on Tubi, I thought I'd check it out. He and Richard Pryor, who of course plays the titular character of Brewster, I want to say it's fun and what have you. Kind of crazy though, but pretty funny. This, of course, was one of the numerous takes of a story and film of the same name. That's been done many, many times. But I got another one coming up as well. Brewster's Millions, it's pretty fun and what have you. But that's about all I can say. But I'm gonna say, this guy spends so much of that money he gets. Yeah, definitely. Enough said. Next film coming at number 17 is Sleepover from 2004. This is another film I turned down. I didn't think I would enjoy this chick flick. Here I think that it had something to do with much of a scavenger hunt and what have you. Well, yes and no, not really. But I will say it's cute in some ways and what have you. I didn't even notice this was her. You're gonna see Scout Taylor Compton even before she did Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, that is, in this film. Crazy, huh? Yeah, I'll say. Sleepover is okay and what have you. Now, coming in at number 16 is The Three Musketeers from 1993. Now, I thought I'd seen this film, but I might be wrong. But I think I've only seen a little bit of this film. But I know this film really got a lot of hate on it. It did celebrate its 30th anniversary this past year. Maybe I'll make up for lost time and review this, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, Three Musketeers from 1993. Some people kind of consider this to be, well, like a Disney version of Young Guns, except it involves swords and what have you. It does have a pretty good cast that includes Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, and Tim Curry playing the bad guy. Yeah. And it did have a pretty good theme song with All for Love, which was done by some great stars on Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting. I'll review this sometime. It's fun, but it does have a few issues, though. Next, coming in at number 15 is Minari from 2020. I believe it was. Yes. Oh, but it was released the following year. Oops. My mistake. It was from 2021, but it was produced in 2020. Now, I like the atmosphere and what have you, but it had so many subtitles I couldn't catch up with some of those. But I will say I like the story about a Korean American family who moves to an Arkansas farm in search of its own American dream. I thought that was pretty good and what have you. But I'm going to say that it just had so many subtitles. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but Minari, it's not too bad of a film. Now, coming in at number 14 is Flamin Hot. This film premiered on Disney Plus and Hulu. I was really surprised to find out Eva Longoria directed this film. That was incredible. This, of course, is about the creation of Flamin Hot Cheetos, which would go into lead into other Flamin Hot products. I'm not going to get into too many details. Watch my spoiler-free review of this, and you'll find out why this film's pretty good in some ways. Okay? Next, number 13 is Burnt Offerings from 1976. This is another film I saw on Diegler's rankings. He had this on his favorite 70s horror flicks. I watched it, and it wasn't too bad. It did have a pretty good cast and what have you. That included Karen Black, Oliver Reed, Burgess Meredith. Yeah. I am going to say that I really thought it was pretty dark and pretty frightening and what have you. Pretty creepy though in some parts, and you may expect the unexpected from this film. But don't worry, it's pretty scary though. I'll think of reviewing this sometime down the road. Next, coming in at number 12 is The Lost World, Jurassic Park from 1997. Now, I think I only recalled seeing bits of this film, but never got to see the film in its entirety. Didn't take the time. But anyway, because I've been mixed. I thought some people said it was prequel to Jurassic Park, but I found it's actually prequel and sequel together. And, well, in ways. But enough said about it. I will say that I liked it and what have you. It was good in some ways. It almost comes to being as close as good as its predecessor, though. Check out my review of it if you haven't seen it yet. It did pretty well in the views and what have you. And coming in at number 11 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies from last year in 2022. Now, since Showtime just got put in with Paramount Plus recently, this was one of the first films I watched when they were brought in, so. And I'm going to say, this was a pretty good dark comedy horror flick and what have you. It was a real fun experience, and I liked some of the whodunit feel to it. I'll try and do a review of this later on down the road. The cast isn't too bad either. it does have a pretty good score too. Definitely. Okay, now for the top 10. Number 10 is Renfield. Now, I watched this when it recently came to Peacock. I'm going to say this film didn't do too well at the box office, but I really enjoyed the performances we got from Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. Aquafina was good. It did have a lot of pretty good bloody, gory moments and what have you. Just like how I could get from maybe some vampire flicks and what have you. Maybe not some old school one, but hey, I just really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen my review of the film yet, check it out. This film is absolutely a bloody blast. And coming in at number 9 is Elemental. This is Disney and Pixar's new film, which unfortunately hasn't been doing too well. So it pains me that Disney and Pixar yet again has another big disappointment at the box office. But just leave it alone. It's a pretty good movie and what have you. I like the characters and what have you. The atmosphere was pretty good. I just enjoyed it for what it had to offer. Various elements together and what have you. Yeah, definitely a fun film. Check out my review of it if you haven't already. And coming in at number 8 is Extraction 2. Now, this is the sequel to the 2020 Netflix film the same name. I gotta say, this was even bigger and better than its predecessor, but anyway, I think this was just so awesome. Of course, Chris Hemsworth's back, and I'm gonna say this was just so awesome, bloody, and action-packed. If you have not seen my spoiler-free review of this, you might want to check it out. Anyway, I enjoyed this just as much as the first one, but it just had a little bit more big, intense stuff and what have you, you know? Alright? Alright, next at number 7 is The Flash. The film I picked as the number 1 movie I was looking forward to seeing this summer, and I did. Check out my review of this if you haven't. I thought it was pretty good, and it was awesome, what have you. But I'm still disappointed that this film's dropping like crazy on here. I think these people are talking about are nutsoid or I don't know what. So, F it. I still say Ezra Miller was good. It was good to see some others and what have you. Enough said. I hope for the best Blue Beetle will do much better than this. Even though it's not part of the DCU, which is come to a close and what have you, that's fine. So, let's hope for the best for that. But in the meantime, see The Flash while you still can before it goes to Max. Anyway, at least this film is going to make it to 100 million. Be thankful for that, though. But this film is pretty good. It's just so, I don't know, kind of worked out and what have you. With it going through different universes and what have you. Yeah. But anyway, The Flash, it's still pretty good. And coming in at number 6 is No Hard Feelings. I love this movie. This movie was so good. Jennifer Lawrence was so good in this. This was probably one of the most wow performances I've seen of hers in ages and what have you. Well, in years, not ages, but yeah, I couldn't resist saying ages. But anyway, it's pretty fun, what have you. It just had so much craziness and unexpected stuff you could get from J-Law. Yeah, definitely. This was good. I liked what it had to offer. See my spoiler-free review of this if you haven't already. But this is one film that was so funny. Even for an R-rated comedy. Definitely. Okay, next, the top 5. Number 5 is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now, this was a big redemption for the Transformers franchise. Even after the Bumblebee spin-off a few years back, at least it's got better response than the other sequels. Even though this is a prequel to all the other films. But anyway, but is a follow-up to Bumblebee in ways. I think what we got to see of the Autobots and the other types of Transformer characters from the Beast Wars line, definitely. Anthony Ramos was really good and what have you. If you have not seen my review of this yet, check it out. That review did well and became the third most viewed video on my channel last month. I think this is a very, very good sequel. Definitely. Next, coming in at number 4 is Stan Lee. Now, I just checked. I made an error. I originally had this in 5th and Transformers in 4th, but I checked and I just said, oh, what the hey. I did like the Transformers film, but this Stan Lee documentary was a little bit good too, so I think it deserved to be 4th instead, so apologies. Now, this premiered on Disney Plus, and I gotta say, this is a great documentary about the late great man at Marvel Comics himself, Stan the Man Lee himself, and showing how he got together with various artists to create Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, etc., etc., etc. Definitely a pretty good film. I didn't review it, but I still really liked it. Stan Lee is a very good documentary film. You gotta check it out. And coming in at number 3 is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On from last year. Now, although it was produced in 2021, but it didn't come to us until last year. Now, this is another film I watched when Showtime got merged into Paramount Plus, and I'm going to say I enjoyed it. This was a very good mockumentary dramedy. I had heard so much good things about it. I wanted to check it out, but I didn't get a chance to. But I saw it, and I really enjoyed it. Jenny Slate did an exceptionally good job on the voicing the titular character. I think it was just so incredible. Dean Fleischer Camp played the documentarian. He was also the director of the film. This was his directorial debut. It's really good in my review. I'll try and review this later on down the road. I think it was a pretty cute film in ways. Alright, and coming in at number 2 is Nimona. This recently premiered on Netflix last week, and I watched it. It was the last film I watched in June, and wow, this was mind-blowing. Now, although this film was originally supposed to come to theaters, but didn't get to because of the pandemic and all that stuff, and Blue Sky, who was originally supposed to give us this, well, closed down, and, well, I think you know the rest if you haven't seen my review of it yet. This film was just so incredible. I liked it. One of the most incredible computer-animated sci-fi fantasy adventure comedy flips I have seen in I don't know how long. Nimona is pretty good. Chloe Grace Moretz does a great job in voicing the title character. I definitely really enjoyed it. And finally, my number 1 first-time watch of June 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, this was awesome. This was definitely just about as good as the first one. And I'm just going to say I had a blast with it. Seeing more Spider-Man, what have you, including Spider-Man 2099, yeah, that was something. Check out my review of this if you haven't. But anyway, we still got some of the same great characters we remember from the last film. And the character of Miles Morales was still good, and this Spider-Man was still good. I'm just glad we got to see all sorts of fun characters from the Spider-Man universe. There were so many Spideys you could even imagine seeing. So it was fun. I hope for the best it does well if it gets nominated for an Academy Award, and if it does, I'll wish this the best of luck for winning. Its predecessor won. Maybe this could win, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves yet. So anyway, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is my number one first time watch of June 2023. What did you think of this ranking? Let me know in the comment section below. You can tell me what's your number one first time watch of June 2022. You can give me your number one pick, your top 3 or top 5 tops if you'd like. And leave them in the comment section. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Mission Impossible 2. So thank you, and I hope you liked this. If you did, check out my reviews of the top 3 films here. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Nimona. While I haven't reviewed the third and fourth films, you can go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of Transformers Rise of the Beast. And the bottom right-hand corner is a button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.